Hello everyone, it's Melissa, the Dreadful Mystic, with Starting Out Solitary, and this week's topic is your favorite herbs. So I have a few. For one thing, I'm an avid gardener. Every year I have a very large garden filled with herbs and flowers and plants and vegetables. And even when the winter hits, I still have several plants in the house. I usually keep a lot of fresh flowers at home, so usually bought from, my favorite nursery. So, um, yeah, I really enjoy working with plants. So I have quite a few herbs that I really enjoy working with. So, and some that you probably wouldn't consider to be herbs, but I work with them the same way. So, um, one of my favorite herbs that grows all year round for me is rosemary. I have a very large rosemary plant in my garden right now. It's pretty much taking up entire end of a bed. I'm going to have to transplant it soon. But I really enjoy rosemary. It's very hardy. It grows just about anywhere in any climate. So it's very easy to grow. It's probably one of the first herbs I started growing whenever I moved out of my parents' house and started gardening on my own. So I love the energy of rosemary. The rosemary that I grow is the same plant I've grown for years. So we have a very good relationship. I've been taking trimmings and cuttings off of that rosemary plant for a long time. So I enjoy the energy of rosemary. It is to me, a very watery. I know some people associate it with fire, but to me, it's always felt more of a water type herb. The energy of rosemary, it's very cleansing, protective, even very loving, depending on the plant that you're working with. My rosemary has always been had a very loving spirit to it. So I use it in all kinds of things. I love using it in cooking, especially when I'm cooking a meal and everyone's energy kind of seems low and dull. Rosemary has a really good way of kind of lifting up those spirits and cleansing things out a little bit and offering a little protection and comfort. So I use it in kitchen witchery. I also use it in spells. I like to put it in protection spells. Especially, I will dry rosemary and burn it like you would sage to kind of just uplift a little bit and protect my home. So usually I do that after I've cleansed. So it's a fun herb to work with. Aloe vera, that is the only member of the cactus family that I can grow. I don't know what it is with me and cacti, but I am not good with them. But aloe vera, on the other hand, my aloe vera goes crazy. In fact, I have a very large aloe vera plant right behind my laptop. It sits on my kitchen table, and it's got about 5 or 6 babies. For some reason, every aloe I've ever had reproduces wildly. Of course, you keep aloe in your kitchen to prevent fires, and it's a protective plant. It's also a healing plant. So not only just for burns or blisters, you can use it to condition. You can use it to help skin problems, rashes. It's very soothing, and in magic, it has a very soothing effect. It can also have a strong protection quality to it. So I've always enjoyed using aloe vera, not just for magical spell work, but also in healing, both mundane and magical. So That's another one of my favorite plants, but not an herb. I do enjoy growing sage. I enjoy cooking with sage. I enjoy using it in spells, especially spells that concern money, especially when I'm feeling very negative towards money. When I feel like money is more of a problem than something that can help me, I enjoy putting sage in money castings because it really uplifts the energy and brings in better vibes, and I feel better about the money coming my way. Like we all can get kind of down about stuff like that. So I enjoy how sage uplifts because unlike other herbs like rosemary can lift the energy in ways, but sage has it has a much higher vibration to me. I do not like to burn sage though. To me, the smell is disgusting. I don't know why, but it just smells rancid to me, and I don't enjoy it that much. I do enjoy using it, like I said, in cooking, and you know, to lift people up. It's really great in healing magic, especially in kitchen witchery. You know, I like to add a little bit to chicken noodle soups because it has a good healing effect, you know, to help cleanse out and uplift your physical self, you know. So, but I don't like burning it. I will use sage oil, but other than that, I'm just not a fan of burning sage smudge sticks. I never will get over that smell, I don't think. So, there is sage. Let's see, lavender. Lavender is kind of a challenge to grow. Lavender doesn't put off buds right at first. It has to be cultivated for a couple of years before it's really producing the flowers, which is the part we love, you know, because most of us enjoy the smell. But I still enjoy it. To me, it offers a little bit of a challenge. And you can buy lavender that will, it's kind of a hybrid. It's not the lavender. To me, it doesn't smell the same. It's not the lavender that we know and love. A lot of it is like a French version of lavender, which isn't exactly the same as the lavender that most people work with, especially magically. Of course, lavender has that calming effect. It's very healing and soothing, and it just smells amazing. So I really enjoy that, and it's another one of my favorite herbs to work with. I like to work with Echinacea. Echinacea is not really an herb. It's more of a flower, and it is amazing in healing work. It's amazing just, you know, to make tea. You use the roots of Echinacea. You don't use necessarily the flower or the cone, but I like using the cone in spell work. Not just healing spell work, but the cone is very hard. It's almost like, it almost has a plastic feel to it. And you can use it in not just protection, but curses if you choose. I personally use it more in protection and sometimes and with healing, especially if someone has like kind of a weak immune system. I enjoy using it in spell work for healing to protect and boost their immune system. And also, Echinacea is great as far as like its mundane aspects. It's a great pain reliever, and it actually does help boost the immune system. So, and the flowers are very easy to grow, and they're just beautiful. And they're really great for bees as well. In fact, most of these are really good for bees. Lemon balm. I enjoy lemon balm. I like the way it smells. I like the way it tastes. I love it in cooking. I love working with it. It adds, it's really great in love spells. It can add a freshness to already budding romances. It is just one of those herbs that I also enjoy. It's super easy to grow. It's in the mint family, so it can be crazy sometimes. If you just let it run wild, it will take over. But Otherwise, it's a, you know, if you keep it cultivated and kind of, you know, in a container instead of planting it just in your garden, it's easier to control, and it's not so run wild and free. So, but and that aspect is very good for adding a sense of being able to fit in anywhere, you know, acceptance. You can even add it to make something grow wild, be wild, you know, rewilding your life. If that's something you are interested in, lemon balm is excellent for that. So that's a good list. I mean, I could go on and on for days and days about herbs and plants that I enjoy working with. Basil is another good one. Basil is an annual, so it will die out every year. But basil, God, one plant will produce a ton of leaves, and it's great. Again, cooking, all these things, of course, are going to relate to cooking just about, but including lavender. But excuse me. But basil can it is good for protection. It's also good for love. It can be used in healing. It is a great astringent, and it also repels. So in your protection spell, it's a really good kind of addition for defense, you know, repel negativity, repel what you don't want in your house. Again, it actually does repel bugs. That is one of the reasons why gardeners love it so much. You plant it with your tomatoes, and you don't have to worry, and you're, you know, around your roses, and you don't have to worry about aphids and things like that because it repels bugs. So most of the things that herbs are good for in the physical, they are just enhanced in that way in the metaphysical, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, like I said, I could go on for days, guys, but I won't. I'll stop here. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got a little something from that. If you have any questions or comments, please do so in the comment section below, and I'll see y'all next week.